Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Token and Hobbs Show, live on a Tuesday night. What's up, everybody? I'm so glad you decided to join us tonight for our little podcast. As always, I'm joined with Justin Hobbs, and producer Ben has decided to drop in for the evening. What's up, guys?
Not too much. It's another Tuesday.
Yeah, sounds. You gotta love it, man.
I can't do the radio voice.
You can't do the radio voice. Are you sure about that, Ben?
It's too high and I'm lispy.
Oh, boy. You guys have a good weekend this weekend. What you guys been up to?
I didn't do shit, and I was happy with it.
I took the.
What about you, Ben? You do anything?
I took the Jeep four-wheeling. I've been talking to Hobbs, about stuff to buy for the Boogaloo or whatnot and things I need to get. And I said, fuck it, I'll just buy a Jeep because I guess if everything falls to shit, I'll just drive off into the mountains.
I mean, why not? It's not a bad plan so long as you got the gas to run it, right?
Yeah.
Retreat to woods, engage in insurgency. That's the plan.
The trees are singing.
Are there a lot of woods out in western Nebraska?
Yeah,
I've never been out there. The furthest west in Nebraska I've been was Laura's district.
What?
So
yeah, that's not very far west. There's
no, it's not. No, it's not at all. But I mean, that's when you live in this part of the state. It's like, okay, Omaha.
I mean,
Lincoln,
Omaha is so great. Why would you want to leave it? I guess, right?
And then there's a lot of corn and nothing else. So it's like, why would I ever go out west?
Yeah, that little stretch in Nebraska where it's all the corn. It's hard to power through that.
Just corn everywhere.
I wonder how many settlers were crossing the state and they're just going. I mean, it wasn't corn back then; it's just flat and grass, and they're just like,
But what if it was? What if it was just all corn? They got there like, well, shit. There's already corn here. Let's just keep growing it.
Yeah, it's been corn since the glaciers receded.
Well, the Indians did raise corn, so maybe.
No, maybe.
I mean, there had to be some settlers that were just like, you know what? Fuck this. We'll just turn around and go back to St. Louis or whatever.
Does this ever end?
Probably most of them did that. And that's why St. Louis is bigger than Omaha. You got to kind of wonder, like, everyone set off to reach Oregon, and some were just lazier than others. Like, some got to Omaha, like, far enough. We'll stop here. You guys keep going to Oregon.
Keep on trucking.
Well, you can find old homesteads just out in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, man, this settler was a lazy asshole. He just is going along, and he's like, you know what? I'm done. I'll just, they're not even by water or any sort of geographical features, and they're usually abandoned, so I'm guessing they died shortly afterwards.
You got eaten by mountain lions or something.
Yeah, how would you like to be the son of that guy? He's like, son, I leave all this to you. You got a sod cabin in the middle of nowhere.
And he just looks around like, wow, thanks, Dad.
You couldn't have pushed
little house on the prairie style. They live underground.
Oh,
There's
Lord.
worms coming out of the walls, no floor. Like, wow, you couldn't keep going, huh? We could be living in California right now, but you just had to stop here.
You couldn't put an extra 3 days in, at least get to the river.
Yeah. Like, I spent.
Can you imagine that? You crossed over the Mississippi and the Missouri, and you're going for like weeks and weeks and weeks. It's nothing but sod prairies, and finally you just like, oh, fuck it. Here is as good a place as any, and you put in all this work to build up a homestead and get your sod house built, and you're like, all right, well, it's time to go and see what's a little further afield. And you go and like 3 hours away, there's a nice river. Like, damn it!
But yeah, I mean,
It's okay because everybody else that went with you died of dysentery. So maybe the prime real estate's still available.
Maybe.
So what do we got? What do we got? What's going on?
Oh, what do we want to talk about first, Hobbs? You were kind of the keeper of the list today.
Yeah, so the first thing is this bizarre thrusting into the limelight that the U.S. Postal Service has gotten the past few days.
It's such a weird thing, dude. I've never seen the Postal Service get this much attention, ever.
Like, it's not even like attention. It's like veneration and disgust from both sides, depending on which side of it you're coming from. Because the Republicans are saying like, it's a terrible organization. We can't trust it to hold the election. And yes, we are playing Oregon Trail now. You can't trust them to hold the elections with any degree of integrity or anything. It's ballots are going to be weeks late and blah 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 blah. And then the Democrats are like, it's a holy and sacred institution, and we must give it $25 billion. Otherwise, our elections are in peril.
Oh my God, that's the thing about this whole thing, right? Because the deal is that the post office is an organization that does not make money ever. They are functionally incapable of making money because they like all public sector jobs have horrible public sector unions, and they bank on the federal government bailing them out whenever they don't have the money to pay their bills, is essentially what happens. It's the same thing that happens in every major city in the U.S. that is now looking for a handout from the government in order to bail them out, right? Like Chicago, LA, New York, all these kind of places have huge amounts of entitlements that their employees, that they have to pay out to their employees, but can't, and then they look for bailouts. It's essentially the situation the post office finds itself in right now. But because Democrats have this weird thing where they just insist that everybody needs to mail in vote, the fact that the Republicans are like, yeah, we don't want to bail out the post office over and over and over again, suddenly now that's like they're trying to throw the election or something. It's weird. This is one of the weirder things that has happened this election cycle, where all of a sudden the post office is now in charge of the election, and if we don't bail them out, then democracy dies or some weird thing.
Well, here's what I understood. Trump appointed this guy to fix the post office in June. Is that right? Did you see that?
Yeah.
So this guy's like, all right, well, I'll start fixing shit. I mean, so obviously the post office doesn't need all these mail sorting machines. Look, when's the last time either of you guys mailed a letter?
I mail out my rent check every month.
Yeah, I haven't mailed a letter in months. And this guy is like, well, why do we need all these freaking mail sorting machines sitting around and all these mailboxes? So I don't know if he was just tone deaf and didn't think about how people are going to perceive it. But it seems like this guy was actually trying to fix the post office and was doing some of the right steps. And then the Democrats lost their mind.
Well, let's also, the thing that I think is probably most amusing about this is the weird conspiracy theory that's going around that Trump is like rounding up all of the mailboxes and stealing the mail trucks. I think it was some Hollywood idiot. I forget which. Jamie Lee Curtis.
They're all idiots, dude. You gotta be way more specific than that.
Yeah. Well, Jamie Lee Curtis tweeted out the other day a picture that she took out of her car window as she was driving down the interstate of a flatbed truck, like a tow truck, with a mail truck on the back of it. And she's like, is the tow truck driver was wearing a red cap. Is this part of Trump's conspiracy to steal the election? And, and I'm like, this is like Dr.
Bruh.
Seuss villain levels of
Bruh.
absurdity. And then pictures of like old rusty mailbox, like the big blue receptacle mailboxes in a chain link fence parking lot at like a refurbishment center. People are like, Trump is stealing the mailboxes, as if every fucking house in the United States of America doesn't have a mailbox right in front of it. Like, Ben, you just said, when's the last time you mailed a letter? It's been a while for me, but when's the last time anybody has put a letter into one of those blue boxes? Every house has a mailbox. Every apartment building has a lobby with a wall of mailboxes for you to deposit your mail. Those blue mailboxes have been worthless for a long time. It's a waste of fuel and man hours running around collecting them. And if you can't mail a package that won't fit in like your residential mailbox, you can go to the actual post office and mail it out. And they're acting like I said, Trump is this Dr. Seuss villain out there.
Well, every courthouse has a ballot collection box too.
There you go.
Yeah, how the orange man stole the mail. That we need to make this into a children's book.
Yes.
He's just going. He's on a sled and he's throwing all the mailboxes into a giant sack. He's taking them from the houses. He's stealing the mail trucks. He's going to the houses of postal workers and taking their uniforms.
What's the point of the Democrats fighting this though? What could be the possible, just to try and make him look bad, so that if they lose,
it's a couple things. Well, yeah, that's part of it. Both sides are laying the foundation for claiming that the result of the election is illegitimate. Right? We talked about this a bit last week. Like, they both want to lay down the groundwork for arguing that if they lose, the election was fraudulent to begin with. Right? Yep. So the Democrats want universal mail-in voting, which is not the greatest idea in the world. I mean, you're on city council, Ben. I mean, how many people do you think you guys have on the voter rolls that don't live where their address is, or died or moved or something? And this is why states purge their voter rolls periodically, because they're out of date a day later. So you're going to mail out ballots to all 350 million Americans in this country and then expect there not to be mass chaos once the election starts? I mean, it's insane.
I mean, the Postal Service obviously could handle that many ballots. I mean, because look at how much they pick up over Christmas.
Yeah,
surely they can handle that. But you're right. The people just getting mailed a ballot that had moved. I mean,
right. I think that a lot of people are kind of getting lost in the weeds on it. It's not necessarily a question of volume or whether the post office can handle the volume. It's not even like an absentee ballot. You request it. You send off your forms and everything and get it notarized and whatever, and then they send it to you. The way that they're wanting to do it this election cycle is check the voter roll, check the address, send it. You don't request your mail-in ballot. They just send one out. And there's really no way to say if you got that ballot, if somebody new living in your house got your ballot, who's voting in your name. Are there going to be duplicate ballots? Are there going to be ballots for dead people? I heard a story about some lady and her husband got a ballot for their cat that had died 10 years earlier. How does that happen?
Well, that was nice. How is that cat registered to vote?
Well, my personal story about a screwed up ballot roll was when I had a list of all the libertarians in Scottsbluff County, and I was trying to drum up support for a meeting coming up. So I emailed a postcard or sent a postcard to everybody. And this lady calls me and says, "Don't send me any more mail. That was for my husband, and he's been dead for years." But he was still on the voter list as a registered voter.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that's one guy out of, not even 70 people.
And Yeah. So
Yeah,
spread that out.
that's how voter rolls work. Like you see Democrats do this too, where they complain about voter purges, where you purge the voter rolls. That happens in every state. That happens all the time because people die, and they don't get automatically taken off the voter roll just because they passed away. If someone passes away and you send them a ballot, now their spouse maybe their spouse moved and they're still on the voter roll as living there. Now some random person is getting 2 extra ballots to use. And there's no way to check that and make sure that not one person isn't voting for 3 different people.
Yep.
Right? And it's a million things like that. Like say you don't get your ballot in time to send it back, right? And a week after the election, a whole truckload of ballots come in to the polling place. Are those going to count, or were they too late? Right?
Well, Colorado has
things like that.
Colorado does mail-in ballots automatically, but they have a whole system in place for it. I mean, federally, we don't have something like that in place. I don't know what the checks and balances are that they use, but they have something. So it is possible to do it, but not like on spur of the moment 2 months before the election.
Yeah.
Right. This would have to be something that's planned well ahead of time, and it's too late for something like that at this point. Right. And then Trump has been a freaking idiot in this whole thing too, because he suggested that, oh, maybe we shouldn't fund the post office so we can't do the mail-in ballot thing. Like, that's stupid. That is a stupid take, straight up. There's no reason to have a take like that. But it's true. The universal mail-in ballot thing is a recipe for disaster. And if it happened, there'd be a legitimate case whoever loses can make that the chaos of the universal mail-in ballots caused the election to be illegitimate. The case very well could be made, and quite frankly, I don't see the need for it anyway. Like if you're old or you're in one of these at-risk groups, you can still request an absentee ballot. You can early vote, right? These are options available to you, and polling places can make accommodations like, when we first open, we'll have an hour for the elderly to come in and vote without everybody else there. Kind of like grocery stores have been doing for months now, right? And they're all at home anyway, right? They can get in a little bit early. So there's things you can do to accommodate people who are afraid of catching COVID at a voting booth. But there's no reason to scrap the vote in person system for a mail-in ballot, especially on the spur of the moment like this.
Yeah, and for the longest time, voter fraud has been the accusation leveled against Democrats, and voter suppression has been the accusation leveled against the Republicans. And this it's a perfect megaphone to amplify both of those arguments. Like, Democrats, you're just so eager to get us on this universal mail-in ballots because you want to commit voter fraud. Oh yeah, Republicans, you're just eager to shoot it down because you're trying to suppress people's votes. And it's like, both of you are right. Sorry. Yeah, I honestly suspect that is the ulterior motive behind both of you at this point. I don't trust either of you. So yeah.
Meanwhile, both parties continue to exclude third-party candidates from debates and even getting any sort of attention. Continue to exclude libertarian, Constitution, and Green parties. So, as far as I'm concerned, both these parties are completely illegitimate, and neither of them actually care for fair elections.
I don't think there's going to be a debate.
Oh, no, there's not going to be. I would be shocked if there was. Joe Biden can't even show up at the Democratic National Convention, right? He can't even show up there. So what debate? There's not going to be a debate. Joe Biden cannot stay awake for more than 10 minutes at a time, and he can't form a coherent sentence to save his life. You think they're going to put him on a debate stage? He'll fall asleep.
Yeah, or he'll say something stupid, and then all Trump will have to do, like I said last week, all Trump will have to do is just say, "Can anybody translate that for me? Does anybody know what he just said?"
And this is the
Go
first
ahead,
time
man.
it's come down to there's no actual policies going in the presidential election. It's just red team, blue team.
Exactly.
I mean, it's straight. There's no policy talk going on at all.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Speaking of debates, we got to show you this clip of Joe Biden. If Joe Biden wins the election, your next president of the United States is Kamala Harris. She's on the Bob Saget show, and it's not Bob Saget, it's Stephen Colbert, but he looks just like Bob Saget. Look at that.
It's like
Stephen Colbert and Bob Saget could be twins. I swear to God. But she's on his show, and he's asking her about all those haymakers she threw at Joe Biden during the primary debates. And her answer is so Kamala Harris. It's just perfect. Let's take a listen to it.
That's so Kamala.
So
in those debates, you landed haymakers on Joe Biden. I mean, his teeth were like chiclets all over the stage. And now I believe you that you're fully supportive of him. How does that transition happen? How do you go from being such a passionate opponent on such bedrock principles for you?
A debate, the purpose of a debate is to articulate and argue the merits of your position, not slander your opponent. so the fact that she thinks that the purpose of a debate is to just hurl invective at the person on the other side of the podium from you, you don't know what a debate is, Kamal. And if you can't figure that out, how the hell were you a prosecutor? How the hell do you expect to be the vice president if you can't even get the definition of a debate right?
Yeah. Hit it again. We got to get to the laughing part.
Oh yeah, we do.
And now you guys seem to be pals.
It was a debate.
Not everybody landed punches like you did, though.
Or not.
It was a debate.
So you don't mean it.
It was a debate. That the whole reason, literally, it was a debate. It was called a debate.
I understand.
You guys get it? 'Cause I didn't see it.
Yeah, we see it.
Oh,
Yeah,
we've been having this problem where I don't see what you guys see apparently.
This is got to be one of the most cringe clips I've ever seen of a politician. He asked her a legitimate question. Hey, how do you go from Joe Biden is a racist who opposes busing and wants to segregate schools to fuck yeah, make this guy president? How do you go from one to the other? That's the question. And it's a fair question. And quite frankly, I'm shocked that Colbert asked it at all, right? Because this guy's in the tank for Democrats. He's in the tank for Joe Biden. He wants these guys to win. But he asked them a perfectly legitimate question, and her answer to it was a debate. Like, what? What does that mean? Are you telling me that you called Joe Biden a racist in front of the whole country, but you didn't really mean it, and that's okay because it was a debate? And then she does this weird fucking laugh, just the Kamala laugh. Gives me huge Hillary vibes coming from her. Like, she doesn't understand humor. She doesn't understand the appropriate situations that she's supposed to laugh in. So she just chuckles awkwardly in awkward situations.
Am I doing it the human correctly? Am I fooling anyone?
Yeah,
No, that's exactly what it is. She's a fucking lizard person. This
Yeah,
is exactly the way Hillary acted.
I was gonna say fucking lizard people.
Well, we know UFOs are real now, so maybe she's one of the lizard people. Or wait, what would Alex Jones say? Transdimensional pedophile vampires?
Yes.
Something like that. And Colbert even tried to clarify. He's like, and so you didn't really mean it? And she just keeps going. It was a debate. It literally means debate. It's like, look.
Yeah, that's where I saw.
You're
when you
still
started the video.
supposed to be truthful in a debate. I know you don't get this because not only are you a politician, but you're a prosecutor as well. So lying comes second nature to you. So you just think that's how everybody's supposed to act, right? You just think that everybody just makes shit up and lies out of their ass out of habit because that's what you do. So apparently nobody taught you that high-ranking politicians like you are not supposed to admit to being filthy, dirty liars. You're supposed to keep that secret. You're not supposed to let us peons know that.
What's that wrestling term? Oh, shoot. Where everybody in wrestling knows it's fake, but they don't admit it. Have you ever heard that term?
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. Come on. You're not even trying. You're insulting our intelligence. And I realize that the average voter doesn't have much intelligence to begin with, but you can at least put in the effort. Just a little bit of effort to not come off like a fucking lizard person.
Yeah, it's called
The
a
fourth
kayfabe.
wall.
It's where
the
it's where everybody acknowledges it's not real, but they just don't admit it. You know, she broke the fourth wall, like you're gonna say.
Yeah, the fourth wall is broken. The man behind the curtain is revealed. You know, everything is just like, you know, the mask is slipped. Any other euphemisms that you want to use to describe 2020 politics? It's just like, yeah, we fuck kids and we have people killed. So, yep, that's your politicians. Yep.
But vote for me anyway because that other guy's really bad.
Yeah. We lie, we slander, we traffic children, we kill people, we don't think twice about it. But that other guy, he does all of those things, and he's mean on Twitter.
Ooh, you don't want that. And you definitely can't vote third party because that's just a wasted vote. The only votes that count are the ones for pedos.
Yeah. Ridiculous. So, Nathan, I don't know if you were the one that sent it to the other group chat. Andy Cuomo's tone deaf book.
Oh,
do you have
geez.
that picture?
I'd have to. Oh, where's my phone? I gotta find that thing.
Yeah. So, your boy Andy over there in New York, he decided that he was gonna write a book about leadership lessons.
Oh, here it is. American Crisis, Leadership Lessons from the COVID-19 Pandemic, on sale October 13th, 2020 by Andrew Cuomo. This guy's going to give us advice on how to fight COVID-19, guys. He's going to tell you what real leadership looks like. The guy with the... Oh, it's so nice. New York is a dumpster fire when it comes to COVID. They were the worst state in the union. Right? What do Democrats always pointing to Trump like, oh, America has more COVID cases than all these other countries. That means Trump's a big bad man. But Andrew Cuomo has more COVID cases in his state than any other state, and he's a fucking hero. The gaslighting is incredible.
It's not just that, but I think the numbers are something like 42% of all of American cases are in New York. Like, you know, Cuomo doesn't just have the most. Cuomo has more than just about every other state in the union combined. He accounts for almost half of this country's cases because of him and Bill de Blasio's mismanagement of everything going on there. And it can be traced directly to the, like, bizarro world policy of, oh, we had some guy in the hospital for COVID. He's feeling better. Let's put him in a nursing home. Like, bro, what? That's your plan?
Not a good plan.
Well, and then when it was first kicking off, he was so anti-Trump that, you know, Trump was saying close the borders, blah blah blah, and he was like, you know, that's discriminatory.
You better get down and hug a Chinese person right now.
Yeah. And I've read multiple articles talking about how New York City might be dead. All these people left New York City during the quarantine. They're just like, fuck, why would I go back there?
Yeah, and Cuomo is trying to get them to go back. He's like, come back, I'll buy you a beer. Like, you're going to tax me out the ass if I do. You're going to expect me to prop up your failed policies. Why would I ever come back?
Yeah, top 1% of earners in New York City pay 50% of all tax revenue.
Yeah, and that's a small number of people. If that small number of people leave for good, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Andrew Cuomo? You're going to come begging the federal government for a bailout?
Well, and part of the reason so many people lived in New York City was for, the arts and the restaurants, and all that shut down, and they're not going to come back. I mean, how are you going to get restaurants back after this?
Why would you go back?
Yeah, there's no way. There's no reason to live in New York City right now. You're just putting up with shit and taxes for no reason.
Right. So let's take a vote here. What do you think New York is going to look like first? I Am Legend or Escape from New York? Which one's coming first?
No, I'm going to say Escape from New York.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Escape from New York too.
Better movie, more likely scenario.
All right.
I mean, you're still going to have people there. They're just not going to have any tax revenue. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's going to be mass bankruptcies. All the landlords, they're just going to have to close up. I mean, nobody's going to want to live in their places.
Now, I read one article today. It said the guy that wrote it said that the rent in his building has plummeted by 30% because people are just moving out and leaving. And landlords can't fill the apartments, so keep lowering the prices.
I mean, they can do that for a while, but
I mean that's one way to solve the rent is way too damn high. Guy is probably pretty happy with that.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like, finally,
victory.
But even if you own your building outright and you're not paying a mortgage, your tax bill's still going to come due, and New York City's not going to lower the property taxes, so they're just going to. I don't know what they'll do for it.
No, if anything, they're going to raise the taxes, right? Because they got this mindset. It's like when I was a kid playing SimCity, I thought the way to get money was just to max out the taxes. Right. And I was so confused when I do that and make less money. Then I grew up and I realized that's a bad idea. You don't do that because then people don't want to live in your city.
Yep.
Andrew Cuomo and Bill de Blasio never grew up. They're still playing SimCity as 10-year-olds, thinking that the way to make money is just to max out taxes. It's not how you do it, man. And it's not just them. In California, they're proposing a law to tax people who leave the state 10 years after they leave.
Yeah.
Like first of all,
that is
how fucking pathetic. You're just telling people not to move to your state is what you're doing. Right? You're telling people who might consider moving their businesses to California, stay the fuck away. That's what you're telling them, first of all. Second of all, you're doing it for no good reason because you can't enforce that. How are you going to do that? Like if Joe Rogan moves to Texas, you're going to like, oh, you owe me money, Joe Rogan. He's going to say, no, I don't. Send the California police to get me. What are you going to do? I don't live there anymore.
I've got a shirtless Alex Jones on my front yard, and he will come at you like a fucking spider monkey if you try to send him.
Oh, God,
what can they do besides kick you out of the state? It's like, all right, well, fuck you.
I mean, like, I guess they can seize property you have there, but if you like move everything, what are you going to do? Like, oh, we're going to go to your bank. Fine, I'll just move to a bank that's only in Texas, that has no branches in California. What are you going to do then? Threaten them? How? Like, you can't, like, you're going to send the California state troopers cross country to go collect taxes in Texas? I like to see you try.
And you know that Texas is just itching for some reason to start shit with California.
And Patrick says it's 2020. Zombies can still happen. Don't tempt fate, Patrick. Don't. Knock on wood. We don't want any of that bad juju going on. This year's bad enough as it is.
That's what's waiting for October. It's gonna be a nice Halloween themed apocalyptic vibe going on. Yeah.
So at what point can a Halloween mask replace a COVID mask? When is that? Right now we can start
right now.
Right now. Okay.
Yep. You said mask, you didn't say what kind. So walk around as the guy from Scream, or
that's actually not a bad idea. I kind of want to do that now.
Yeah.
Everyone's walking around in a surgical mask, and I'm a werewolf.
Yeah,
that meets the requirement. It just says mask.
Yeah.
Right? And Omaha has a mask requirement now.
There you go. 24/7 Jason Voorhees. Wearing that shit at work, going out picking people's garbage in a Jason Voorhees mask.
You're not even wearing the costume, just the mask.
Yeah.
Like, hi, neighbor.
I ran out of N95s. I figured this was just as good because it's all bullshit anyways.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a Voorhees mask to wear.
I gotta go get one. I'm not a Voorhees mask. It's be something a little.
When does Spirit O Halloween start opening up in all the malls?
Should have started happening 3 months ago with everything being shut down.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, they probably have plenty of places to open up. Like every restaurant that is closed for good is now a Spirit Halloween.
7 of
every
them in
single
a row.
one. They're like Starbuckses.
New York City,
everywhere.
New York City's just Spirit Halloween, as far as the eye can see. That's gonna be so low.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. What else we have on the list of subjects we wanted to talk about?
I didn't get a link for it, but I saw this morning that Twitter, unsurprisingly, decided to suspend a whole bunch of satire pages, but only satire pages from a certain political persuasion. Anybody to the right of Stalin was suspended for a little bit. That includes Titania McGrath, Babylon Bee, and a few others.
They suspended Babylon Bee.
Huh? What's up, Ben? What'd you say?
Do progressives have satire websites?
Well, they've got The Onion, but
yeah, The Onion. The Onion is the cringiest satire ever. Like I saw one headline that was like, "Oh, Donald Trump tries to convince people that he's not a piece of shit." Like, ha ha, that's funny.
Yeah,
good one.
Yeah,
you call Trump a piece of shit.
Oh,
hilarity.
I remember when The Onion was funny, and saying that makes me feel old.
I know, right? There's a long list of things that used to be funny that aren't anymore. Vice used to be good, not anymore. Cracked used to be a thing, used to be very funny, not anymore. The Onion was the best, the best fake news you could find.
Yep.
And I don't know when it happened, but Babylon Bee definitely took that spot, and The Onion hasn't been shit since.
Yep. So yeah, the Bee they got suspended, and they got suspended for 2 misleading tweets, which they're obviously a satire post, but one of them was an article or a meme, not an article, but a meme of like Donald Trump hanging out of the passenger window of a black SUV with a baseball bat smashing mailboxes. Kind of going back to the first thing we were talking about.
Really believable.
Yeah, and the other one, oh god, it was a satire article along the same vein of that, Trump, dastardly, Bond villain type Rube Goldberg stealing the election type of thing. And it's like, it's obviously satire. It's obviously a joke. And they got suspended for it. And you guys know who Titania McGrath is.
Mhm.
the fake, just awesome stuff. She got suspended, and there were a few other ones too. And I first noticed it, but because Sargon posted something on Facebook this morning, which showed a bunch of the suspended accounts, and then it showed it was a reported post by somebody blatantly asking for somebody's information in order to dox them. Like, that was the word. It was, can we get this person's information so that we can dox them? And somebody reported it, and Twitter came back saying this does not violate our policies. And it's like, what the hell? If that
But
doesn't,
being
then what
satire
does?
does.
Yeah, but being satire does. So,
Once again, why we're not on Twitter.
yeah.
I mean, we are, but we're not.
No, we're not. Yeah.
I mean, if you guys are on Twitter, we are on Twitter. Go follow us. But you probably won't see very much from us because none of us give a shit about Twitter.
Nope. I oftentimes say that Twitter is an ocean of piss, and I refuse to swim in it, and I stand by that. So yeah, moving on to the next story on the list here. This one has got to be. It was hyped. It was gonna be huge with a Y. Huge. The Trump camp was coming out saying, "Oh, a big pardon is coming, everybody." So this is going to be a big one, a big pardon. President's going to pardon somebody, and it's super important. And we're like, Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, Michael Flynn, who knows? And he comes out and he pardons a woman who's been dead for a century. Susan B. Anthony attempted to vote in 1872, which was against the law at the time because the 19th Amendment, women's suffrage, wasn't passed till several decades later. And she was fined $100 for that, which I believe she paid. Pretty much done at that point. And for some reason, an 1872 crime that was a fine that was paid needed a pardon with a lot of pomp and flair and whatnot thrown around it. So,
and fair enough. Leftist said, "Well, she was proud to pay that," and I bet she was. I mean, he pardoned somebody who didn't even want pardoned for it.
Yeah.
Like, well done, though. Well done. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Sexism ended. Patriarchy destroyed. Trump redeemed. Progressives will now throw their support behind Donald Trump because of this historic pardon.
Well, and
amazing.
Then the left immediately started canceling Susan B. Anthony. Did you see all that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, they started.
No, that's a real thing.
Yeah, they started saying she was a racist. All sorts of stuff.
Well, fuck. Of course they do.
Yeah,
that would be what they do.
It was 1872, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, she didn't speak out that black women still couldn't vote, but so yeah, they immediately went into full on cancel mode on Susan B. Anthony.
Jesus. Like all it takes is Trump doing something. It's like, yeah, Susan B. Anthony, pardon. Proof. Trump is Hitler. He pardoned Susan B. Anthony.
Go back through Susan B. Anthony's tweets and find something problematic.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand. They hold every historical person to standards of today.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Well, they don't.
Except Marx, Stalin, Mao. If you're a communist, no, they do not hold you to today's standards.
It was a different time.
No, seriously.
Well, I found they won't even stand up for Stalin.
No, I've seen plenty of people who are more than happy to stand up for Stalin. He beat Hitler, didn't you know? That makes him a good guy. Logic. Facts and logic. Doesn't care about your feelings, Ben.
Yeah. I actually saw a meme. I think somebody posted it in the I see some commies escape the helicopter group, where it was like World with Communism, and it was just like a picture of the
Oh, that was
globe.
me.
Yeah, that was you. Okay, yeah, World Without Communism, and everything's taken over by the swastika. And so somebody posted underneath of it something like Soviet Union doesn't stop the Nazis. By 1945, America laughs in nuclear warfare.
Yeah, seriously. If that's the thing about it, communists like to pretend like, oh, without us, you would have lost World War II. Like, no, without you, we would have just nuked Berlin.
Yeah.
That's what would have changed. If you hadn't wasted hundreds of millions of people's lives beating Hitler, we would have just nuked Berlin. And if that hadn't stopped Hitler, we would just kept nuking them till someone wisened up and killed Hitler for us.
Well, I don't think they would have nuked Berlin. Without Russia in there, we would have taken over Berlin. Operation Paperclip still would have happened, and then we would have nuked Russia.
Yeah, they wouldn't have got half of the.
Yeah, it would have went even quicker.
Yeah, it would have been World Without Communism. It wouldn't have been Nazis. It would have been America.
Yeah.
Might have just
there wouldn't have been a Cold War. It would have just been America from the 1940s onward, just in charge of everything.
It's like, well, guys, we've taken Europe, we've taken Eastern Europe. What do you say we just keep on going? Let's see how far we can take this.
Who's gonna stop us?
Yeah, who's gonna stop us?
There's no communists, so fuck it.
Oh man, yeah. So that was that.
You
That's all I've got left. That's all I got left on the list. So
You gotta love that little bit of virtue signaling from Trump, though. I gotta wonder what was going
It
through
was
his
Ivanka.
head.
Had to be Ivanka.
Like, did he even know who Susan B. Anthony was?
You mean the lady on the dollar?
Yeah. Pretty
Like,
much.
you gotta imagine this was someone else's idea. Well, of course, it was someone else's idea. This is not something that Trump would think of on his own. And then someone comes up to him and like, Trump, I got a great idea. It's gonna help your election hugely. Pardon Susan B. Anthony. He's like, huh? Who? Susan B. Who? Is she somebody I slept with?
The silver dollar.
Doesn't sound like a porn star I know.
Yeah, you're right, Ben. It had to be. This had to be Ivanka. It had to be like some. Oh, this will resonate with women voters. Completely missing the fact that most women voters and most people today are utterly fucking retarded. Probably have no idea who Susan B. Anthony is.
And don't care if they do.
And don't care. Yeah.
And if they do know who she is, you pardoning her is just going to get her canceled.
He should have pardoned one of Kamala Harris's victims of her reign as PA.
I said that the day that they announced Kamala Harris, I said Trump's smartest move right now is to see if there is anybody in jail in California on a weed charge that Kamala Harris put in jail, full pardon on the spot. All of them. And make a
and then if there is a debate, invite them to it.
Yep, right up there in the
just
front
like
row.
he did all the women, just like he did all the women that Bill Clinton slept with.
Yep. That's
that would be amazing. Can
I mean,
you
why wouldn't he have
the
done
balls to do that? He'd do it too. I don't know if he can pardon them though. They're not there because of. Yeah, they're not there because of federal crimes.
Yeah.
They're there because Kamala Harris is a vindictive bitch and likes throwing people in jail. And then laughing about it. Oh, I like to throw people in jail for weed, but when I smoke weed, it's funny. God,
listening to Tupac 2 years in the future.
Yeah, no
time
shit.
Traveler. Kamala Harris, time traveler confirmed.
It reminds me. It reminds me of when Hillary Clinton said that she carries around hot sauce with her everywhere she goes.
Yeah.
And then when they said, "Are you pandering to us?" She's like, "Is it working?" Like, God damn it, Hillary, you're not trying either.
Oh God, this whole thing is just a train wreck. It's a train hauling trash on fire, careening off of the rails into an open air sewage pit. That is all that this election cycle is.
And we're all stuck on the train. We're all along for the ride. We can't stop this thing. It's just a fucking wreck. Ben, do you want to talk about? Hold up first. Do you want to talk about this first?
The Ben Backus action figure.
Yeah.
I don't know where the hell you found that.
Take a look at this, guys. It
just popped up in my Instagram. It's a Black Ops Toys. It's an action figure company that I follow, and I was just scrolling through, and this popped up. I'm like, holy shit, that looks like Ben.
and I said the worst part is he's also wearing skinny jeans, which I'm guilty of trying to pull off once in a while. I'm not sure what Black Ops guy would be in skinny jeans.
Yeah.
The Black Ops guy that is Ben Backus.
Speaking of merch.
Yeah, there we go. Close us out strong, buddy.
So we've been working on a merch store because we're all the poors, and maybe somebody wants to give us money, so we'll give them something in return. So all these designs that we've come up with are going to be on the Rhodes #2liberty.com. All original designs to the store. So you're not going to see it. I mean, it seemed like a lot of stores, they just grab a bunch of designs and put them up, but these are all originals here. So I'm sure people will steal them eventually. We got some Joe Jorgensen. What else coming up? Let's see. Yeah, there's another Joe Jorgensen. Where's my favorite? Liberty Luau. That picture's a little blurry, but Statue of Liberty holding a gun, wearing NVGs. What more do you want in a t-shirt?
The Statue of Liberty, it's like a hula girl.
Yeah, she's wearing a hula skirt. That'll be up here shortly. We're putting a little polish on the site, but if you really want to get one of the shirts right now, you can probably go there and order one and it'll make it to you.
Nice.
Socialism, the philosophy of failure, the creed of ignorance. What's the last line? I forget. So that's all of them.
Back for
The gospel of envy.
Yeah. Good
So
stuff.
that. Got a merch store up.
We do.
We'll get some other stuff on there after t-shirts. We'll have mugs. Been looking at some tactical stuff. We'll see how it goes.
I need a coffee. I need a coffee mug. I need something to drink my Captain Morgan.
Do you have that picture of the Road to Liberty mug that I sent you? I thought that thing was pretty sweet.
Oh.
Send the instant messenger.
Yeah, I'd have to download it and find it. But it's not up for sale. It's not up on the website now. So when we get that, we can
Road to Liberty underwear.
Yeah, me undies.
Road to Liberty, the cereal. Was that movie Spaceballs where they sell them all?
Road to Liberty, the flamethrower.
Breakfast cereal.
Kids love this one.
Sponsored by Elon Musk.
Yes.
But yeah, I sent you that mug too.
If we could get licensed Boring Company Roads to Liberty flamethrowers from Elon Musk, that would be just peaches.
That's
there we go.
There's the mug.
Look, guys, there it is. That's the mug. That's what it's gonna be.
Mug.
There's the fanny pack. I suggested we need branded sports bras.
Yes,
that'd be fun for the ladies out there.
Oh, I thought maybe for your moobs.
There's the Road to Liberty branded me undies.
Cover up those skid marks with the Road to Liberty logo.
Right, and there's the secondary mug idea. I don't know which one I like more. I like that one, and I like the white one a lot too. Those are both.
I like
cool.
the wings.
No, this is what you like the undies, Hobbs. That's the one you liked.
That's an actual picture of me right there.
He posed for that.
Yep, definitely. Clench the old cheeks.
So that's on Rhodes #2liberty.com.
Yeah, get to it. We're gonna have to upload these all to our Facebook and Instagram pages so that people can find them Easily. All right, let me hide that. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap this up for the evening?
No. I just want to say that if we have any Australian listeners out there, feel sorry for you, especially if you're living in Melbourne. Apparently, it's a legit police state down there now. Army patrolling the streets, beating people up for not wearing masks, doing all sorts of crazy shit.
But turn
it's
in your guns;
bad.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. What's the worst that could happen? Right.
Yeah, government will never turn tyrannical on you, says the people who think that Hitler is ruling over them right now.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's amazing. If you think Donald Trump is Hitler, you should be the most pro Second Amendment person in the world.
Yep. And I think I'm still trying to get Tim Harmson from Military Arms Channel to come on. He was supposed to come on last week. Had some last minute family stuff come up that he had to cancel, postpone. It's been kind of hit or miss with text messages and whatnot, but trying to get him on for this week.
All right. Well, hopefully that works out, and that'll be another great episode of Observation. Can't wait for it. Also, for our listeners who live in Nebraska, Spike Cohen is coming to Lincoln this coming Sunday. So I'm probably going to make it there. That's probably too far for Ben and Hobbs to make it.
Did you get
I'll be
lined
there.
up?
Can I get?
Yeah. Did you talk to his people and see if you'll be able to talk to him for a bit, or?
I haven't gotten a confirmation that it's good to go, but everyone that I've managed to get a hold to says, "Oh yeah, he'll probably be fine with that."
Cool.
So, well, if that turns out to be true, then I'll be live streaming an interview with Spike Cohen coming up this Sunday. I'm looking very much forward. Never met the guy in person. Looking forward to that. All right, everybody, that's it for us. Remember, the website is think-liberty.com and roads2liberty.com. That's where you can get all your Roads to Liberty merch. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week on another episode